Welcome in to Sports Time HQ. I am your host, Fernando. Joining with me today is my co-host, Gary. Gary, we're back here for another one. It's another mock draft day. And the mock drafts, we've had our fun. Keith, unfortunately, not to be here with us, but he'll be back next week. But hey, I'm excited. It's opening day for baseball. I'm going to stop talking and let you intro yourself. But Gary, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Freddie. The only complaint I have is that it's been raining all day. It's kind of been really trash out. But, hey, you hit the nail on the head. It's opening day for baseball. I've been watching it all day pretty much. I've unlocked my free MLB TV pass with T-Mobile Tuesdays from my T-Mobile users out there. You know what that is. So, listen, I'm living a good life right now, and I'm ready to get into this mock draft.
I'm jealous because I do not have T-Mobile. I have Verizon, but T-Mobile, man, they get that MLB TV. I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I can still watch baseball somehow, some way, wherever it is. Twitter for the most part.
Right.
But we're not here to talk about baseball, but we're here to talk about some football, even though it's the off season. But last week we talked about all the rule changes that were being brought up and whether or not it was going to pass or not. And we had some that we thought were going to pass, and we had some that we didn't think was going to pass, but somehow still passed. So we'll dive right into it. The first one, an easy one. The NFL trade deadline, it's now pushed to 1 week later. This one's kind of a no-brainer. I'm not surprised on it because of the fact that we had that extra game added. So this just means there's an extra game to be played, and then you really figure out, are you a playoff contending team? I don't mind this. I think this is a fine one.
Yeah, I agree. It makes sense, and I am sure that I didn't see. I'm not sure if they released the numbers on this voting, perhaps, but I'm sure just about every single team voted. I'm sure it was unanimous, and it makes sense, especially with the one extra game in the season now.
Yeah, because by doing that, I mean, who doesn't? Which GM doesn't want to have an extra chance to be able to trade for players if they still want to contend or not?
Right, exactly.
It's an easy one. Another one that we talked about was the hip drop tackle. You can no longer do that. You'll be penalized. I think 15 yards it is. It's another 15-yard penalty. I mean, the hip drop tackle, it's a safety issue. We all thought that it was going to get passed because anything safety related is 99% of the chance is going to pass because the league wants to continuously make the NFL a lot safer. But hopefully they just don't keep on changing the game too much because it's going to come to a point where it's just going to be like, sorry, 2 hands, and that's it.
Right, exactly. We're not necessarily saying that it's something that we would want to happen in the game. We just figured that it would get passed just due to the fact that we know that NFL and the committees are trying to keep it a safer game. And like you said, change the game to limit the amount of injuries that we've had, especially over the years. I don't like the change that they made because I think that a lot of plays that you see that are normally game-saving plays, perhaps, are going to result in 15 yards. So
yeah,
it's not the change that I like, but I figured that it would have happened eventually, and it did.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, adding the hip drop tackle. I mean, the biggest question now is can the officials be able to call the correct calls? Because we had that thing with the pass interference rule, where is it actually a call? Is it not a call? So I think it's going to come down to the same thing that we saw with the pass interference. Is it going to be called it? It depends on the officials, I think, personally.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
The NFL rule change for coaches getting a third challenge. This one, no surprise, because again, GMs and coaches, they want a third challenge. They want as many opportunities to be able to challenge plays. They no longer have to win the first 2 challenges to get awarded that third challenge. They now will only have to win their first one to get 2 challenges to be awarded to the third. So that's a good one for the coaches. I think you're going to start to see a lot more challenges this season because usually coaches, they get nervous to throw that red flag unless you're Bill Belichick and just slams it in front of the official. But yeah, I'm not surprised this also passed. I think this is a good one that passed. And I think we're going to see more challenges by the coaches this season.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is an obvious one. You see a lot of games go certain ways that they might not have had they had another challenge. I think that coaches, like you said, are very reluctant at times to throw the red flag, and I think they're going to feel a lot safer with another one in their back pocket. Yeah, it's just an overall common sense change.
Yeah. So it's a good one. I think these first three we've been pretty much hit the nail on the head and just agreed with. I mean, so going into this one, enforcement of fouls on change of possessions. Gary and I, we still talk about it, and Keith and I, we all talk about it. It's still a confusing one, but kind of got a little bit more clarity with it. But during a play that results in a possession change, if the fouls are committed by both teams, any major offensive fouls like a unnecessary roughness that were committed before the possession changes will now be enforced. So again, we're a little still on the fence on whether or not we understand this call too much, because you and I were talking before the show about the punts, and obviously when someone runs into the punter, it's no matter what enforced. The challenge is enforced, or usually when we see two major calls by both sides, it offsets and we replay the down. So
Right.
it's kind of confusing a little bit.
Right. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I completely 100% understand the rule change. I'm probably gonna have to go look it up on my own time for some more clarity on it. But yeah, I'm sure that it'll change something within the game. The reason why they
Yeah,
went ahead and forwarded it anyways. But at this current time, I can't really say I understand it fully. But I'll have to take a look at it myself.
yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see when it comes down closer to the season what we'll be able to see. Do you also think, really side note, do you think that there should be trial runs? So, like, how the minor league for MLB, the minor leagues, they have trial runs throughout the season. Do you think there should be trial runs for specific rules in the preseason?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, I think it's just a good way to see, yeah, if they would actually work, how often these things would occur. And
Mhm.
I think that, yeah, you mentioned in the minor leagues in baseball, they tried the bigger bases, I believe. That
Yep.
was
The
uh,
pitch clock.
the bitch clock, right? That was, I think, the two major things that they tried. And they ended up using them in the majors. So, yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, you mean you have 3 games plus the Hall of Fame game to really trial and error type of way, and then you go back to the meetings and you figure out, okay, this is what we want. Do we really want it? Yes or no?
Right.
I think it's a good kind of trial run, because then when you add it into a season, we have that pass interference. It lasts 1 to 2 seasons, and boom, goes away.
Right.
So, I mean, but there is some changes to the replay. So we do have coach's challenge, getting an extra challenge possibility. But there's 3 different pieces to this change to the replay system. All the owners, they approved it. The replay assistant will now be allowed to correct objectively incorrect calls for intentional grounding and roughing the passer. So you can now see whether or not you can challenge the play, whether and go into a replay and decide whether it was intentional grounding or was it roughing the passer. You can also have a replay review be allowed to when there's clear and obvious visual evidence that the game clock expired before any snap, which we've seen many times. There's been calls that haven't been called when the clock has went right to zero, no calls. Then you have ruling of the passer down by contact or out of bounds before throwing a pass are now also reviewable. So I think this just allows more opportunities for these coaches to have more challenge opportunities, to have challenges and have things be replayable.
Yeah, this I think this is a really good change because we see a lot of watchers of the NFL now, especially complain about all the soft roughing the quarterback calls, and I've seen it myself. You've seen it yourself, and we all
Yep.
know that over the past couple of years, these refs have been getting very soft with these calls, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if challenging it would do necessarily anything, but I think getting a better look at it is a good way of thinking about the entire situation. So I think that this is a great change.
Yeah, I like this change. I mean, we get to see it. The viewers at home always get to see these replays, but these officials they don't always get to see the replays. Maybe they'll see on the jumbotron, and who knows? You can't call it. It's not
Right.
non-reviewable. But they'll be like they'll talk to their coach. They'll talk to the other officials. Hey, we missed that call. I don't know, something along
Right.
those lines. But now there's a chance to replay it and check it out. This next one, designated to return players during the playoffs. This one was actually proposed by the Detroit Lions. Teams now have an unlimited number of designated to return transactions during the playoffs. So this is a good thing if you have players who are on the IR or whatever, and you're trying to get them back for playoff contentions. And say, for instance, you win the wild card and you go to the divisional round, and I don't know, say, who knows? I don't know. Give me a star player. Can't think of it. Yeah, Stephon Diggs. Say Stephon Diggs goes on the IR and he comes back in the divisional round. Boom, you can unlimited get him and get anyone else who you need to do. So I think this is a good one. This allows more competition for any teams who need to get more competition from their IR slots.
Yeah, this is a cool one in my opinion. I think that for the teams that especially kind of maybe got screwed in terms of injuries, they don't have to face the true horror of really losing those guys for really the entire season if they're able to make it into the playoffs. So yeah, this is a great change in my opinion.
Yeah, I like it. I think this is another good one, and this one coming up kind of leads into it as well. So emergency quarterbacks. I mean, we haven't really seen this too much. I mean, the most notable one was the Denver Broncos that COVID year when all their quarterbacks had COVID or they had to quarantine and they had to have a wide receiver be quarterback, which was pretty fun to watch, to be honest. I enjoyed watching it. But basically, an emergency third quarterback who are available to play in case the starter and the backup are ejected or injured can now be elevated from both the 53-man roster and the practice squad. Last season, emergency quarterbacks could only be elevated from the 53-man roster. So this is good news for teams who have injured quarterbacks. We saw a lot of injured quarterbacks last year, a lot of starting quarterbacks that got injured. So this just means there's more opportunity to get more quarterbacks in free agency. And I think there's going to be a little bit more quarterbacks that people are going to be fine to sign on their practice squad and everything because of the fact that they now can just elevate them right away.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much we'll really see the emergency title come out, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I think that, I'm a Browns fan, and we saw my team go through 4 separate quarterbacks. So it might have been funny to see one game, one of our at the
Show
time.
how terrible these Browns are. Am I right?
Right. Yeah, sure. Exactly. But it would have been maybe, cool at the time. I would have hated it, but it would have been cool at the time to see, maybe one of our practice squad wide receiver or actual quarterback go out there and who knows, compete or maybe actually win the game. So it's cool.
Brendan, a Bills fan, we talked about the Stephon Diggs being on IR. He's trying to say keep that bad juju away. Hey, don't worry. Maybe the Patriots can trade Juju to you guys.
I apologize about that. It was the first player I thought of.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of a defensive player, but my mind kept going to Aaron Donald. And I know, we could have mentioned Aaron Donald, but he retired now. Brendan also wants to know, do they count towards the 53-man roster? In fact, so it does say they can be elevated from both the 53-man roster and the practice squad. From what I've gathered on any news and notes around like all these websites and everything, it looks like that it would be just considered an emergency quarterback. So it's that emergency quarterback that you just elevate for that 1 week and then drop them back from what I've been watching. But there's also been websites that I've seen say that you have to add them to the 53-man roster, which I don't think that they would do that. I think if it's an emergency quarterback, it's kind of like a 1 week thing. But again, this is also something you don't really see too often, like Gary was mentioning. So I don't see it counting as a 53-man roster because at that rate, I don't think you're going to see anyone really do that and use that.
Right.
So going on to the biggest rule change of them all. Gary, Keith, and I did not like this. None of us liked it. The revamped kickoff. Gary, we know that this kickoff, I mentioned how easy we could have changed the kickoff. Just move the kicker back 10 to 15 yards. Wow, that's so easy to do. Clearly not. Clearly they want to be like the XFL, because now what's going to happen is you're going to have the receiving team be lined up at the 35-yard line on their side, and you're going to have the kicking team be lined up at the 40-yard line of the receiving team's side. So it's only a 5-yard difference, which sure, I think that's fine. I think you can do that. I think that's okay. But now adding in this whole landing zone and this whole entire setup zone, kickoff start line, like you're adding too much to this game for no reason. You're adding this too much. So basically what's going to happen is if a kick does not reach the zone, which I'm going to tell you the zone, it's from the 0-yard line, the 1-yard line, or the end zone line, all the way to the 20-yard line. That's the landing zone. So if a kick does not reach the zone, the ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. 40. So it's almost like you kicked it out of bounds and it's automatically at the 40-yard line. If it goes out of or is inside the end zone, the ball goes to the 35. So now these kickers, they can't just kick it out of the end zone, because then the other team will get it 10 yards more than what they did last season. But if it does hit the zone and it rolls into the end zone or is downed, then it would go to the 20, which we used to see the 20-yard line be the kickoff, the touchback. So any ball fielded in the zone, meanwhile, would also have to be returned. And then onside kicks, they would be remained under this proposal where no matter what, if they do have to onside, they have to make it known, and they can only onside in the fourth quarter if trailing, by the way, if trailing.
It's just so stupid. Like I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, if you really wanted to make any change at all to the kickoffs, it would just be what you said. Move the kicker back 5, 10, 15 yards, whatever it may be. But I mean, I don't really think that even that was a problem. Like if you're really just looking for electrifying plays off of kickoffs, then yeah, that's your only move. I don't understand what this is. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like I 100% understand everything that's being put into this rule, but as someone who might be a newcomer to the NFL, they might not, especially considering the fact that it's still a new thing going on. I just don't really get it, and I wish that they would stop doing these stupid things because it's not the game that I grew up watching.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And like Brendan said, good kickers just became a lot more valuable. Those kickers that can have the accuracy, can have the power, but enough power where it doesn't go out of bounds and doesn't go into the end zone. It goes into the landing zone. It works out. It works out for them. But I don't know. I agree with you. I think this was just a rule that did not need to happen. Maybe this could have been a rule to do in the preseason. Just saying, this could have been the rule to do in the preseason. Check it out, see how it is. But I also don't like how you can only onside by letting the team know, but not only letting the other team know, it eliminates the element of surprise. I mean, we saw a couple times where they would just onside kick it for no reason, just try and get the ball back.
Yeah.
But it is only a 1-year trial, which I do in fact like, but I don't know. I think they're going to try and keep it though, because the biggest reason why they're going to keep it is because it's going to eliminate any possible injuries.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just like when I think of what went down into voting for this, like was there really people that sat there and were like, yeah, like this is what we need to change the game? Like I hope not, but obviously there was that. So I don't know what's going on with this league, but hopefully it's not around too much longer.
Like I thought the kickoff was fine. We all didn't like how it just always went in the end zone because it eliminated any opportunity for the returns, which is in fact, probably the best case for kicking teams to go into the end zone, which, I mean, yeah, it is, but just move the kicker back. They're going to have to try and figure out how to still get into the end zone. And I think it's going to be a lot harder to find kickers that kick it 10 to 15 yards into the end zone after being moved back that far.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. You don't like this. Keith doesn't like it. I mean, why can't we just keep the game simple? Why do we have to keep adding all these rules?
I completely agree with you.
But hey, we're excited because it's now time for the best part of this show. I mean, we've been doing it for the past couple weeks. But if you haven't done so already, go to Underdog Fantasy. Go use code SportsTimeHQ. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. And guess what? Like Gary and I were talking about before the show, or just during the start of the show, it's baseball season. Baseball season's back. Football season is going to be coming around the corner with the draft. And then all of a sudden it's training camp. You can bet on draft. You can bet on the draft. Who's going to go where? And guess what? Baseball, now you have that. Now you have hockey still. You still have the Celtics who just clinched. Hey, go Celtics, right? Boston fans? I know. You don't like it. And again, if you still want to try and get a trophy, ring, or a belt, go to trophysmack.com/sportstimehq. They just added something really cool that I'm going to try and incorporate in maybe my listener league, who knows, this upcoming season. They have a pennant. So they're going to have, not a pennant, like a little banner. They have a little banner that has your name, the year that you want it. So cool. Cool. I think it's a really cool thing. I'm going to have to try and incorporate that into one of my leagues. But anyways, so the last time Gary and I were here, Gary had the NFC teams. I had the AFC teams. This time, roles have been reversed. And I now have the NFC teams. Okay? And unfortunately, I hope Gary doesn't take a quarterback with the damn Patriots. Because if he takes a quarterback, I'm booting him off.
Really? Really?
Please, just don't do it to me. I know. So the Commanders and the Patriots, I know, were at the Drake May Pro Day. I don't know if you saw some videos. I just so happened to see a video from Doug Kleeman post. He posted a video of Drake May. It was an out route. Just an out route. Threw into the fans. Nowhere near the wide receiver. And you're telling me he's a second overall pick projection or a third overall pick? I'm just saying for you to think about where the Patriots are going to pick. But hey, draft trades are eligible in this draft. We saw a couple last week with me and Gary. Keith didn't make any, unfortunately. But again, we're using the same exact website, NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator. Go check it out. You can do unlimited trades. You can draft for all 7 rounds. It's a really cool website. I use it all the time. PFF, Pro Football Focus, love that too. But they make you pay for it. Why are you going to pay for it? Just have fun with a free website. Anyways, I am up to pick with Chicago. Do I want to go with Drake May as a number one overall? just to throw this whole entire thing to a loop.
It's like Sheeran Daniels.
It's Caleb Williams. Washington is up to pick. They're listening for calls. Any calls from the AFC teams? Any calls?
Not at the moment, I'm afraid.
No. Okay. The Commanders were there at Drake May's Pro Day. I really don't see a world where Jaden Daniels gets picked here. I just don't think Jaden Daniels fits this offense. I think Drake May's the one that would fit better in this offense. So again, I'm going to keep it with Drake May. And, you're on the clock here. And before you make a pick, are you open to trading this pick?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, my phone's ringing right now.
Oh, okay. Who's calling?
Oh. Hold on. This call is from Las Vegas.
Really? It's the Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders are calling my phone right now.
Okay. Let's go to these Raiders.
Let's see what they got.
Let's see, where is New England? NE, where's New England? New England. All right. And then we got LV all the way down here. All right. This is your team to your team. So And I think I should act as commissioner, whether or not we
Free.
approve this.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
you're
gonna,
up. You're up. What
well,
are you trading?
so I believe the Raiders offered me their first round, 113,
Okay.
their third rounder,
Okay.
and their fourth rounder.
All
Now,
in this year.
all in this year. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, the third and the fourth round picks are like very, very valuable, but that 113 is a big drop off from where I am right now. And how many teams here, realistically, also want a quarterback, which is a highly significant pick for my team as well.
Okay.
So I think that I would reject that offer and I would
Okay.
ask instead of the 1, 3, and the 4 from this year, I would ask for a first this year, their fourth this year, and a second for next year.
Still nothing.
No?
Still rejection.
Really? Huh.
I think that's too high. I think that's too much, in my opinion. I think
So
hear me out.
obviously,
Hear
so
me
ob-
out. I think hold on, because I think you're getting another call. I know you want to go with the Raiders, and I know there's ties with Tom
listen,
Brady
I'm
and
open. Listen,
everything.
I'm open to anything.
Listen. It's the Minnesota Vikings back again.
Here we go.
Minnesota is offering you the 111,
Yep.
the 123, which this says it's accepted, but hear me out. I've heard a lot of rumors that the Patriots are going to want more. And whether or not it's the Patriots or the Commanders, they want more than just these two picks.
Okay.
It's going to be these two first round picks and the 2025 first round pick. But we also need something back from Minnesota. So we want this year's fifth and next year's fourth. And there's nothing there. What? There's nothing there. Okay. So hold on. we're not doing all that. Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think
How much do they
that
value this 1-3?
they must well this is accepted, but there's been a lot of rumors that Minnesota's going to trade all three first round picks for this year and next year. So
That's
if
crazy.
I give you this second, Minnesota's second for next year, and I ask for next year's third,
Yeah,
what do we say?
we're saying yes.
Oh, we're saying yes.
We are.
Okay. Boom. We got ourselves a deal.
First one of the day.
First one of the day. Wow, that was actually really insane. I didn't think that they were going to deny my opportunity to give 3 first rounds. So,
Yeah.
Minnesota's on the board. We know Minnesota's going to try and trade up. That's been the biggest rumor, and I think they are going to trade up. It's just a question whether it's Washington or Minnesota. They're obviously going to take Jaden Daniels. There's no doubt about it. Whether or not he's worth 2 first round picks and a second next year for Jaden Daniels and a third, I don't really know. I just don't see this quarterback draft being all so special. They're still special, but not all over the top special.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm on the board here with the Arizona Cardinals. And rumors has it that there has been a very close competition with the wide receiver room in this year's draft.
Here.
There has been very close. There's a lot of general managers and a lot of coaches who value many wide receivers in this draft very, very close to Marvin Harrison. For fantasy purposes, we love Marvin Harrison, and we think Marvin Harrison is going to be God tier, like a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. I agree. Do the general managers agree? Do they play fantasy football? I don't know. But the reason what I'm saying here is I don't think Marvin Harrison is going to go forward, and I don't think it's going to be a very big lock. I think he's likely to go to the Cardinals, but I'm picking Malik Neighbors to go at 4.
Okay. Well, that is the easiest decision I ever made because if I am sitting there as a Chargers front office and I'm thinking I have one of the best arms in the entire league, I'm just going to go out there and get arguably the best player in this draft, and Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think there's some biasy there with an Ohio State
Are
Buckeye
you
fan.
serious? Are you serious right now?
I think there's collusion in this.
Right.
Marvin Harrison going there. The Giants are on the board, and man, do I want to give them something terrible because I hate the Giants. Any calls, by the way, going here? Are you intrigued? Any team that you think would probably want to move here? Um, I think personally, if any team wants to move here, it's a team that might be looking for a tight end if they think Brock Bowers is like a big guy, or if they need Joe Alt, who's been that top offensive tackle that's projected to be off the board.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think the Giants, they obviously need wide receiver. Can they get a wide receiver later on in the draft? I think so. I mean, the Giants draft picks, they have a second round pick, if I do believe. They have a second round pick number 47 from the Seahawks. So that's only about 15 picks into it. They don't have their second round pick. I think they're going to go with an offensive tackle, and I think they're going to try and protect Daniel Jones. Joel.
Yeah, that's where I would have gone.
I think this is only because they know that Joe Alt wasn't going to last any longer because I think Tennessee was going to take him.
Yeah. Well, now I'm on the clock with Tennessee, and I had him going here. I think in our very first draft. I think I'm going to do it again. I
Is
just
he
think.
the only 10 you're seeing in this draft for Tennessee?
Well, yes, because with all the outrageous moves that the Titans have made so far in free agency, it seems to me outside of the quarterback position, they're pretty much all in. So I
Yeah.
think they are going to try to revamp this offense as much as they can. I'm going to say they take the best tight end in the draft, Brock Bowers.
So you think there is a possibility that people might actually jump Tennessee to get Brock Bowers?
It's possible. I don't really know how many teams are going to jump at the opportunity to draft a tight end, even though it's Brock Bowers. I don't really know though. I think that if Brock Bowers is there and the Titans are on the clock, that's what they would do because, like I said, for some reason they seem to be all in right now, at least
Mm-hmm.
the next couple of years, and it just makes sense to me.
Okay. Well, I'm back on the clock here. Love the pick, by the way. Tough break though for Chigozie Okonkwo, the tight end for Tennessee, because I do love saying his name. And I
Yeah,
think he's actually not a bad tight end. I think he's a good tight end. But unfortunately, he's going to be irrelevant in
he
fantasy.
can still block. He can still block.
Yeah, he'll be a good blocker. So Atlanta can really do anything because they need every single piece of defense. Wide receiver, they could go for wide receiver, but they don't need to. That would be a waste of a pick, in my opinion. I think this is a place where they're going to not get the best edge rusher. They're going to get the best defensive lineman. And they're actually going to go all the way down to Byron Murphy as
All right.
their defensive line. This is where it shakes up a little bit. We can't just keep having the normal consensus picks.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
So now Chicago Bears, they're on the clock. You got your star quarterback. You got your star offense. Now you go look at defense. This is a pick where it's a no-brainer. You expect him to go down to 9. If he doesn't go down to 9, you take Jared Verse. It's Dallas Turner from Alabama.
Yeah, that's where I would have gone as well. So good pick there.
You got a long run ahead of you. 4 straight picks.
That's fine. My next two are planned out because I think that easily, if the Jets are here and a Dunze still on the board, that's where they're going to go. So I'm going to say Dunze goes here.
Okay. Do you think there is a world where the Patriots would jump to Chicago and draft a Dunze?
No.
Okay.
Because they are perfectly fine right here with the guy that they wanted still on the board.
Woo-hoo-hoo! JJ McCarthy, please.
Freddie can finally rejoice for some odd reason. Yes, Big Blues. JJ McCarthy will be wearing a New England Patriots uniform next year.
I will be drafting him in every fantasy league.
I don't know why. I don't know why you like him so much.
I love I might put JJ McCarthy above Caleb Williams. Hot take.
I think
Hot
that's what
take.
yeah, uh,
Hot take right there. Now, listen, let's be real, everyone. Caleb Williams is number one, but I think I would not be surprised. Our rankings will be coming out next month in top 10 quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends for rookies. Don't be surprised if you see a little bit of a switch for the quarterbacks from me, anyways. Just saying.
oh goodness. Alrighty. Okay.
You're back on the board with Denver. You basically just sniped Denver because I think this is a place where Denver could have used a quarterback in JJ, but I think I have a feeling where you're going to go here, and I don't think it's offense.
Yeah, no, it's not. And I don't disagree with you in the sense that they might be looking at JJ. But I think that Denver, I think I've said it a couple times now. Their secondary was so good, and it just turned into really bad really quick.
Yep.
Ever since they gave up 70 to the Dolphins, it's like, they've been kind of weak in the secondary. So I think they're going to go with the best available defensive back here. Right now, it's Kenyon Mitchell.
Okay. Kenyon Mitchell. All right. I like that. I think it's a good pick. I think you can't go wrong with that pick.
Now, the Raiders, they tried to move up in the draft earlier.
They got denied.
And that wasn't their go-to because they were going to be drafting Jaden Daniels at 3.
They got no quarterback here.
But they pretty much took a buckshot in the face. So
are you going to take an Alex Leatherwood type of player here? Do you want me to scroll down all the way to like 45?
No, but that same position, yeah, they're going to take Olu Fashanu here. He's the next best tackle in the draft. They just need to protect whoever is going to be throwing the football this year.
I like that. I think that's a good pick from them. And I mean, you just need everything. If you can't get a quarterback in the first round, it's just safe to say that you're going to have to protect whoever in the world is your quarterback, which right now is Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, good luck to him.
Good luck. I mean, they have Devontae Adams, which isn't.
Yeah, he's still a beast. So.
I mean, but it's just whether or not Aiden O'Connell can throw it to him.
Right.
So the New Orleans Saints, they're on the clock here. Their next pick is pick 45. That's their next pick after this. So they're not going to have a pick for a little while. I think here's the issue. You can go for an offensive tackle in the second round, but the question is how good will they be? There's a lot of very talented offensive linemen in the first round this year. And I don't think you can go wrong with many. I think there's a lot of them that are actually good that will stay and survive in the NFL. And I think Fuega is someone who can survive in this NFL. And I think Fuega is going to go to New Orleans.
I like it. All right. I think I'm getting another call.
Ooh, another call. Who's this?
Think
you're trying to jump Seattle. Really?
No, not necessarily. It's more so the fact that the Colts think that they can get a guy later in the draft. So they're only going to move back a couple spots, or at least see if they're going to be doing that. You're getting a call from the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, I'm listening.
Yeah, because that is your squad. So let's see what they got.
All right. So the Rams, let's go. So let's see. Rams. Why am I struggling here? Hold on. Indy, IND. Wow, these things. Sorry, I don't know why I'm struggling here on that. All right, LA Rams. Let's go. LA Rams. All right, this is what we got. What we got to work with.
I'll just do straight up 1-for-1, and I'll add a 6th rounder.
Ooh, a 6th rounder. I don't think. Yeah. Wow, too much. I thought that was too little. Personally, in my opinion, I thought that was too little. Okay, how about this? You gave me the 6th rounder, and I give you next year's 7th rounder, a 2025 7th rounder from Minnesota.
What does it say?
Nothing. Nothing. Okay, let's redo it.
See, I don't like that it does this though. I feel like you should still
I
be able
know.
to an option
Okay.
to trade.
Well, how about this? How about this? I will give you the. Uh,
I'll. Huh.
what do the Rams need to trade up though?
Not necessarily, but I was just trying to make something happen.
I'm trying to think.
Uh,
Maybe Philly. I think Philly wants to trade up with you.
Philly. Okay.
I think
I was
Philly wants
thinking,
to.
what do the tackles look like? Because maybe Cincinnati wants to move up.
They can wait.
Latham,
They can wait personally.
Latham is the best one.
How
Huh.
about this? How about this? I'll give you the 122, and I'll give you next year's third round pick.
Works for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Does Philly really need to move up here? Probably not. But they
Probably
need
not.
a corner. They need a
Yeah.
corner.
Right.
They need corner help. And I saw Terrion Arnold was here, and I think this is where they're going to go. They're going to go with Terrion Arnold. Don't be surprised too if AJ Brown does get traded, because there is a lot of rumors saying AJ Brown is going to get traded. If Brown gets traded, this could be another one where Brown gets traded for like a first round pick, and then boom, they draft another wide receiver in like Brian Thomas, or maybe even a higher up wide receiver like a Dunze. But Terrion Arnold has to be the pick here. I don't think you give up too much. You're giving up next year's third, but let's be real. The Eagles, they're good. Can they move that extra step? That's the bigger question. Seattle, yeah, Seattle.
Yeah, they're kind of a question mark in my opinion.
I think this is just, you got to go with an. Do you want to go? I could go with JC Latham, and then just have Cincinnati be screwed. I could do that. You know what? Let's take the no-brainer prick, Jared Verse. I think the fact that he's still there is a shock, but I think that's a good pick for Seattle.
Okay, I don't mind that.
Jacksonville. What do you want to do with Jacksonville?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think that Jacksonville has to get secondary help, just like the Broncos. So I think this is a no-brainer pick, and they're going to draft Nate Wiggins, who some believe is the best lockdown corner in the draft. So
that's a good pick. I don't mind that pick.
Now, here's Cincinnati. There's a couple ways that you could go about this, but I think that I'm just going to stick true to what I believe would help them out most, and I'm going to go the best tackle remaining, because the story that's been in Cincinnati for years now is that their offensive line has always been trash, and they can never.
Very true.
Yeah, they could never get any more help. So.
Okay, so you're going to go with Latham?
Yeah, I think he'll go there.
So I'm on the board with the Rams. They just lost Aaron Donald. You got to address the line. It's no matter what. Guess what? You have someone right here who went to college in the home state of this team. UCLA. Loeta Letu. I think that's the easiest pick. Why move a guy from where he has been staying his whole college career?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
We've seen that happen. Washington, or like staying in Washington or whatever. Pittsburgh, staying in Pittsburgh. What was that? Kenny Pickett going to Pitt or something?
Yeah.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, you're on the clock.
Yeah, now see, this is the reason why I wanted I wanted Indianapolis to snipe Pittsburgh, because what I think is going to happen here is that I think that the Steelers are going to go wide receiver. And
really?
I do.
There's no wide receivers really much available besides Brian
Thomas.
Well, besides Brian Thomas, but
yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
Well, the reason why is because, do you really think that they're going to be able to operate? I mean, let's be honest. We've seen everything about the Brandon Ayuk rumors, whatever. But now, since then, there's been extension rumors in San Fran with Brandon Ayuk. So Do you really feel comfortable with running out a wide receiver core of George Pickens and whoever the hell else?
Let's look at the Steelers depth chart. Let me look at the Steelers depth.
Calvin Austin the third.
Yep. Okay. Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson,
So okay. So
Quez Watkins.
Right. So you're telling me that you are completely comfortable with that?
No, I'm not. Especially for a team that you're trying to build with either Russ or Justin Fields, whoever in the world is your quarterback.
Exactly. So
okay,
I
so
think
you're going Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas is the obvious choice, but what I wanted to do was get Indianapolis in front of them because I wanted them to take a wide receiver.
Oh, okay.
But, it's okay. It happens. So now I'm on the clock with Miami. I think Miami's going to take a tackle no matter what, but I don't think it's going to be Fatanu here. I think it's going to be Amarius Mims. I think he's the tallest and overall biggest player in the draft. And let's be honest, still a couple hits away from potentially being out. So I think that might be where they go. Indianapolis, like I said, I think that they're going to go wide receiver, but maybe not anymore because there's not the big 3 or 4 names there anymore. My second choice for Indianapolis is the next best secondary, and at the moment, that's Cooper DeJean, who I also feel like is such a cult. So that's where I think he's going to go.
Well, you're on the board here, and I think your phone's ringing.
Here we go.
I think your phone's ringing. And I don't think the Patriots mind to trade.
All right,
the New England Patriots are looking to trade with San Francisco.
Really?
Yes. San Francisco, they're missing something. And this is something they could be missing, and they want to trade up. They didn't expect them to be here. Guess what? They're here, and they want to trade with you. So we want to give you the 31st overall pick. But we also want to give you... I don't think they want another pick for this year. But they don't have a first next year. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a third for next year. How about this? A first and a third. Yeah, you're taking it?
I'll take it.
Bang. Damn, that was quick. So the reason why is guess what's here? Everything is here. San Francisco can do just about anything that they want to do here. They can take an inside offensive line. They could take Fatano from Washington. They could take Kool-Aid because they need a corner. I mean, there's so much options here that if they want, they can take more defensive edge. They can take Tyler Guyton. They want to take a wide receiver. They can take any of the best receivers before the wide receivers start getting off the board with these next picks. I think the biggest need for San Francisco is offensive line. And I think if you're going to try and build this team to continue on making this team go far and go back to that Super Bowl, keep protecting Brock Purdy. And I think what better way? I don't think you can go wrong with one of the best inside offensive lines with Jackson Powers-Johnson or even Troy Fontano. But I think what you're going to do is you're going to try and figure out a way to get Jackson Powers-Johnson incorporated into your offensive line and still be able to change around that offensive line where you still have star offensive tackles as well.
I like it.
It's a big one. That was a big trade for San Fran. I'm on the board. What do you not like it? You don't like it?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm just right now. Oh, I accidentally took my chain off. I'm actually scheming another trade. Not at the moment, but in a couple of your picks.
Okay. So. Wow, I have a lot of picks up. Start calling in. We're looking for calls. Dallas has always been a team to go best available. And unfortunately, this is where they're going to go again. I just don't want them to, but I think they're going to. They're going to go with Troy Fontano.
Okay.
Green Bay is up.
Aaron Smith, so I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't do anything in free agency. They did nothing in free agency. What the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
No wonder your team's terrible. You need Bill Belichick. Green Bay's up. I think Green Bay, their offense worked well, very well. And I think they got to go with a defensive player. Whether it's Kool-Aid, whether it's Dijon Newton, I think Newton might actually fall out of the first, in my opinion. I think there's a chance in a world where he does fall. But I think Green Bay, you're going to look a little bit farther down, and you're going to take a guy from Duke, Graham Barton, inside
Really?
offensive line. Yeah.
All right.
I was saying you're going to go defense. So now you were looking like, oh, all right, he's going to probably go with Kool-Aid or a Newton. Nah, you know what? We really need to keep Jordan Love protected. We still need him to be protected.
All right.
You were not expecting that at all.
No, I wasn't.
Shake up the draft. Come on now.
All right. Well, you're up again. So let's see what masterful pick you got this time.
This one's no bold pick. This 100% has to be defense. And I think there's no better way to get your edge rushers. Keep going with your edge rushers or keep going with your corners and keep building on that. As much as I want to go with Damian Robinson, I think Kool-Aid's stock has been consistently rising. We had him going to Detroit. I wouldn't mind seeing him keep going up. This is a guy who could get drafted within like 2 or 3 picks after the 20th pick. And I think his stock could still be, he could be a guy that gets picked at 20 or 19, somewhere in the late teens. I think Kool-Aid's a really great corner, and I think he's going to be a guy that's going to keep rising in this draft.
Hold on.
Oh,
What do the wide receivers look like right now?
Wide receivers look as followed: Mitchell Worthy, Keen Coleman,
Okay.
and Lad McConkey, Troy Franklin, I've been seeing him rise, but he's been staying like in the second round. Do you think he's a guy who can get drafted in the first?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I had him being drafted to San Fran, our very first.
I remember that.
But I'm not sure now, considering Ayuk is probably going to get extended. But I really don't know. The Ayuk situation is kind of up in the air for me. I heard that he's going to get extended, but I also see what he posts about, just cryptic stuff.
I think they're going to pay him.
Yeah, I think so too. But at the moment, I'm not sure how that's going to go. But back to the mock drafts. You're getting a call right now from the New England Patriots.
Oh, look at that. New England getting a lot of draft capital.
Yeah, they want to move around yet again. So they're going to offer you the first.
Okay.
And let's just do the next year's third that we got from earlier.
Okay. Well,
too much.
It looks like it's too much, but hear me out. I think if you guys swap and you do like a 6th for next year. Oh wow. Okay. Maybe not. Okay.
Offer a 5th from New England.
Offer a 5th. Okay. So first.
And next year's 5th.
And next year's 5th from Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think actually. Still too
much. Why did that just click? That just clicked the Patriots. Hold on. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
No, yeah, that's what it was because we got that pick from Minnesota.
Yeah. Look, here's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, works. 5th round. 5th round pick. It keeps showing Patriots, but it was Minnesota. Either way, I think we're fine. I don't know if I want to give it to you.
No?
I don't know. I might be stingy about it,
I mean, I'd love to throw in something else, but this app doesn't want to do that. So,
how about this? Give me a 5th and a 7th.
All right, sure.
So New England's on the clock here.
New England jumps Buffalo because I think that Buffalo is going to want a wide receiver.
Okay.
And whether you think A.D. Mitchell is the better wide receiver from Texas or Xavier Worthy is a better wide receiver from Texas, I think that New England is going to want to get the guy who's risen so much recently. The speedster, Xavier Worthy, goes right here. What do you think?
That's what I think.
That's JJ McCarthy a weapon.
I love JJ McCarthy, and I love that you're giving him a weapon. But my only concern is Xavier Worthy's is built just like John Ross.
Right, I forgot. Right, I
And
forgot.
that's my only concern. Maybe Xavier Worthy's different. Maybe he can be like a Tyreek Hill. But I do hope that if we do draft Xavier Worthy or AD Mitchell, whatever, I don't know. I'm concerned on the wide receivers that are here. I think a guy that I could also see the Patriots trading or waiting for is Troy Franklin.
Okay.
I think Troy Franklin's a guy they want later on. I'm looking at Malik Washington in like the 4th round. Who else? I think that's just about it that I have the Patriots been going and getting. But yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind the pick. I think it's a great pick to jump because I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think you were gonna jump the Patriots. I think you're gonna let the Patriots stay right there. So I'm actually surprised that you jumped. But I think it's a great thing because I think if anyone wanted to jump, it was KC, Baltimore, and Buffalo who would have picked wide receivers. So I am not surprised. I think it's a good pick.
Now I think I'm back on the clock again with Buffalo. Um,
You take
am
AD
I
Mitchell.
getting am I getting any calls at the moment?
Uh let's see. I'm trying to see
Because
who
I think Buffalo would make calls out of this spot.
I let me see. Let me see who has the early rounds in the second.
Yeah, if you want me to be completely honest with you, what I think is going to happen with the Bills,
Patriots have the second pick. Wow.
if all of this were to happen, I think they would just trade out of the first round.
I could see it. Who's left available? Who's still available here? D line, edge rusher.
Because I think they're going to go wide receiver no matter what.
You know what? I think you're gonna. I think you wouldn't mind this trade. All right. So call's being done. You're getting a call. The call is. Hold on. Let me go to. Let me go to Buffalo. You're getting a call. Okay, you're just not gonna work now. Guess if Buffalo doesn't want to work. We might have broke the machine. Okay, it's here. It's here. It's here. Don't worry. You're gonna call from Carolina.
Okay.
They're willing to offer you the 2.3 and the 4 of this year.
Okay, so that's what? The first pick of the second round?
Yep.
All right, we'll take that.
Bang. If it works. You know, it might not work. It doesn't want to work. All right. NFL mock draft database. You need to fix your app. Just saying. Let's go into. Let me go back to Carolina. Hold on. Let me go back to Carolina. So this is the pick. It's the Bears pick, and then it's already highlighted because it says 1 of 1. And then what was I giving you? The 4.1.
Yeah.
Oh, so now you're saying it's too much, or not enough?
No,
Okay,
you didn't add that. You didn't add that second rounder.
I did add it though. Oh, let me just put this 2.3. Hello. Did Carolina change? Did Carolina change? Are we having? Look at this. Carolina just added 2 more picks. Okay, 2.3 and 4.
I have no idea what's going on right now. Okay, there it is.
It's gonna work. It's gonna work now. Please work. Okay, so we're gonna pretend like Carolina has it. Let's be real. Let's pretend that Carolina has it.
Yeah.
Carolina needs defense, and I think this is where they're gonna take Newton. I think they were gonna take Newton at the 33, but they were nervous because wide receivers went early, and Xavier Worthy was projected to be late first, and he's like a last round first or in the early second round, and he's starting to get picked. So I think this is where Newman's going to get picked. I also don't mind if Buffalo doesn't move out of this. I think this is also another pick that a team could have traded up to get a quarterback if anyone needed a quarterback. So, like, if you're looking at, let's see, the Titans who have the 6th overall pick in next year's draft, in the second round, excuse me. The Falcons who have the 11th. The Raiders. We talked about the Raiders. The Raiders could have traded up. That was another one that could have traded up. So
I don't hate it. I just think that. So, in your personal opinion, what's the next best quarterback? Penix?
I like Penix personally over Bo Nix.
Okay, I do as well. Just the problem that I have with a team that would trade into the first round is just like, look at the teams that are still there. Like, who's going to pick a quarterback at that
Well,
spot?
no one's going to pick a quarterback, but the reason why is that fifth year option.
Oh, okay. I didn't even
And
think of that. Yeah,
that
you're right.
and that's why like Baltimore, they traded with New England a few like maybe like what 2018 to get that pick 32 to
You're
get
right.
Lamar Jackson. And look,
Yep. I didn't even think of that.
now you have that. And so now Carolina, they'll have a fifth year option for Newton.
Hmm.
Who, I mean, let's be real. I think it's time to move on from Bryce Young. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm up here with the Detroit Lions. I think you could go with Robinson, but I think your biggest need is corner. So I think you're going to reach a little bit and you're going to take Rake Straw Jr.
Really?
Yeah, he could be a back end first.
Okay.
Baltimore's up here. Are you going to go with
Yeah.
that normal pick that we're expected to see?
I'm going to go with Chop Robinson if that's
Okay.
what you're expecting. I'm not sure. But I think
Oh, sorry, my fault. I thought you were going with Robinson.
what? Yeah.
Oh, you are going. You were
yeah,
going. No, I thought you were going Baltimore with Robinson. My
yeah,
fault.
yeah. Which Robinson? Because there's two.
I was going with the edge rusher. Oh, they're both edge rushers.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, no, you picked the right one from Penn State.
Okay. I thought I picked the wrong
his
one.
nickname's Chop Robinson. That's why I call him.
I thought I picked the wrong one at first. And I was gonna be like,
No.
oh man.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would have went with. He was a beast at Penn State, and he's been mocked to go here if they don't end up taking another wide receiver, which I really don't see them doing, to be completely honest with you. I think that they're just going to stack up this defense with the upside of young guys, and I think that's exactly what you're getting in Chop Robinson. He's coming off of an injury, and I think he'll be really good in the league.
Okay. I think it's a good pick because obviously I think this is the end of the first could go with many wide receivers or it might not go with wide receivers like we just saw here. So I like the pick and I think it's great for Baltimore to keep adding defensive players. Arizona's up. Am I getting any calls by the Raiders or anything?
Sure, for the sake of the end of the stream, let's say the Raiders are giving you a call.
Okay, Raiders are giving me a call, and they want to trade with Arizona. What do you want to give me?
Well,
you don't really have much.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, does like a second and a fifth or a fourth get it done?
Of this year?
Yeah.
I think a second and a fourth would. Oh, it doesn't. Okay. So
Same
second and fourth.
You? All right. Yeah, just throw in a sixth, I guess.
I'll throw next year.
Next year, six from us.
Yeah, my fault. I flip-flopped it again. Okay. And then a six for next year. Yeah. I could do that. I could do that.
All right.
I could do that. It's not going to let me trade, but just pretend like that happened.
Okay.
So the Raiders are on the clock now. Arizona's
the Raiders pick, and they're going to take the next best quarterback available. And in our personal opinion, that is Mr. Michael Penix Jr.
Bang! If Arizona even got a B for that, I'm actually surprised they got a B for that.
Wow.
But no, that's a really good pick. I think that's a smart pick from the Raiders. If the Raiders can't get a quarterback early, then I think this is an easy pick no matter what. Going for a quarterback to get that fifth-year option, I think that's going to help the Raiders because now you have a bridge quarterback in Aiden O'Connell or whoever in the world you decide to put on that quarterback roster, and then switch it over to Michael Penix.
Yeah.
So you're on the clock now with KC. What are we wrapping this up with?
Yeah, I just think that no matter who's here, I think they're gonna go with wide receiver. Everybody's been seeing that it's Xavier Worthy going to him, but
My
had
New
him.
England took him. You can't
Yeah,
have
I
him
had him
anymore.
getting drafted earlier, so maybe they take his teammate and the Donai Mitchell, and that's
Okay.
where I'll end the draft.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go with Lad McConkey or even Troy Franklin.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. They realistically, the next 3 or 4 best wide receivers could go in that spot. I just went with the graded best available on this website.
We had a total of 6 trades. This only shows 4, but we had 6 total trades.
Right.
I think this is actually realistic. I think I could see 6 different trades happening. In my
We switched
opinion.
up a lot of things too.
Yeah, a lot of things.
A lot
Like
of players.
we've been projecting a lot of wide receivers to go in the back end of the first. We only saw 1 or 2, and it's the Texas players who are expected anyways.
Yeah.
But Troy Franklin didn't go. Keon Coleman. I mean, I don't know. I think this was a good draft.
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, I think it's different from what we have done in the past, and
Very different.
what I think is cool. So
Very different. But yeah, I guess that's gonna do it here. Make sure to leave a like if you like our content, of course, with the mock drafts. I know we had some mock draft problems. As much as I praised NFL mock draft database, it just glitched out. We were having too much fun with trades. Make sure to leave a like if you haven't done so already. Use code SportsTimeHQ on Underdog Fantasy. They're going to match your first deposit up to $100. Again, baseball season just started. We got the Celtics and basketball still going on. We got the hockey still going. The NHL. Go Bruins. Hopefully they win it all. They don't choke again. And then now we got you hate every single. What do you got? Oh, okay. You have the Bruins. Okay. You have the.
I'm not a Bruins fan. They're just.
Oh, get out of here. Anyways, go to trophysmack.com/sportstimeHQ. Go get yourself trophy, ring, or belt for any of your leagues. If you're still looking for a baseball one, they got baseball trophies. If you need a poop trophy or a toilet bowl trophy, go give it to Gary. Gary is the last place guy in next year's fantasy draft that we're gonna do. Hey, the rookie co-host, we gotta talk a little bit, some trash to him a little bit.
Fine.
But anyways, that is going to do it here for today's episode. I'm your host, Fernando Jeronimo, joined alongside my partner, Gary Dombeck. You can go follow him all over social media at Gary.Dombeck. Go follow me and SportsTime HQ all over social media at SportsTime HQ. Next month, we got a line of rookie quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, top 10 for all of them, and as well as more mock drafts, more fantasy mock drafts. We're going to see you all next week at 6 p.m. Also, we're going to have the NFL live mock draft, the live show of the first round live here on SportsTime HQ during that first round. That's going to do it here for today's episode. We'll see you all next week.